Dear community, dear Circle of the Way community, welcome to a newborn experience of bringing online and in-person teaching together. We're actually messing with each other's computers, warm hand to warm hand, screen to screen, mouse to mouse, and we're bringing forth new life, and it's happening in this room. This is a brand new garden. We're planting life together, and your patience and presence has been so wonderful. Let's turn toward Roxanne Swentzell and welcome you this beautiful day. It's Mayumi Oda's birthday, the birthday of great artists, and we're born again with you today, celebrating your timeless and very fresh, dangerous, vivid life and work. You are our leader. You are an extraordinary seedswoman of the highest training. You protect, preserve, and share the seeds of antiquity with a ravenous world and people who should be more alive and will be more alive tasting the food you grow. You are our first teacher of permaculture, long before Bill Mollison and others started to mess with the world. You were on the front lines, showing us the pattern of permaculture, persistent culture. And you're an extraordinary woman made of clay, shaping clay and offering clay back to the living world. So we celebrate you. There's so much more to say, but the beauty of your work and your words will say it all. Everyone, let's with our full heart welcome Roxanne Swentzell to the heart of Upaya Zen Center. We are so happy to be home again with you.
Wow, that's an introduction of introductions. Now I have to live up to that and go after Porter.
Please find your place. Please return
Wendy,
to sitting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I just want to acknowledge all of you today who have made your journey to be here and cross paths with me today and online, the people out there watching. Thank you. We are on this journey together at this moment, and so I am very grateful for your attention and your energy for this little time together that we have. Thank you. With respect, I am glad to be here today. I've become very fond of this place and the people that belong to it. So thank you again for having me here. Joan, Wendy. I come to you from Santa Clara Pueblo. I'm Porter's mama. He is amazing. It's fun to get to watch him speak. I don't get to hear him that often anymore. He's a natural teacher. I still learn things from him. I was sitting there going, really? Wow. So I'm just grateful to get to have listened to him and then to have him lay the foundation for what I would like to talk to you about today. This is more about the organization I run in the tribe, in the Pueblo here today, called Flowering Tree Permaculture Institute, which we started in the late 80s. And it became I believe it was the first homestead permaculture site in northern Mexico, officialized. But as Wendy said so eloquently, what I've learned throughout my research and journey is that my people and my ancestors have been doing this for time immemorial. And it's our relearning of ourselves and how we connect to place and how we live within our place in the best way that we can. I'm going to have to turn, what's this thing? Flowering tree, I think of as community. And Porter talked about it in such a good, holistic overview way. I think of it in terms of baskets and plants, and how we, as a community, as a Pueblo people, we were taught that everything that we do in our world, we do in community form. And braiding of corn is one of the ways we're reminded of how we work together, and working together is everything. And as Porter reminded me today of how that was what gave us the strength to resist the colonization and still exist to this day, was that we were braided together, and we managed to survive through immense upheavals. And so the corn is a reminder to us always that we live in community, because all these kernels, they're all family living together, and they all hold the seed of life and coming together. We study the way things go together. And in the thinking of permaculture, why I was drawn to the permaculture world is that it studied the patterns of nature and how things go together in ways that made them function at their highest levels. And so it just hit home for me. It was like, yes, I know this intuitively. I know that as you start to look at the world and how everything is connected and works together, there is a pattern to it and a beautiful system that when we start to see it and start to move with it, as we would say in our language, we then gain medicine. We then walk in the right way. So for instance, this is a picture of corn. This is a drawing I did of corn, and it's to show you that corn does not stand alone outside a community. It's not an object. It is part of a whole system. It's part of the underground systems that are underneath the earth. It's part of the sky and the way the seasons and the sun and the moon and the clouds and the wind, everything is in relationship to corn. It's not just, the weather and the soils, it's all of the other life that swirls around it. So for us, it's like learning constantly to think of community and what that means. So, I mean, in ways that if you thought of yourself, what would your picture look like? Not as like a portrait of you, but as the bigger picture of the pattern of what makes you, you. This is a picture of my house slowly disappearing in the forest. I started with a driveway. It had nothing in it. It had been run over by cars for many, many years, and no life on it except some ants. And within, 30 years, it became a living forest around my house. And this year I drove up and I had to stop, and I realized my house has completely disappeared now. You cannot see that there's a house in there anymore. A few years ago, you could still see the roof. So again, it's working with a whole system to make life happen. Some of the things we do at Flowering Tree are seed saving, farming, gardening, animal husbandry, foods of our ancestors, alternative energy, traditional buildings, cultural preservation, traditional arts and crafts, land restoration, pattern understanding, health. I was like trying to make that list, and I realized it's so weird to put a name to it. It's like saying what we do is corn and dirt, and it seemed like, no. Put that all together into this drawing and this amazing mosaic of life, and that's what we do. And really, that's what any of us do. And why we have limited it down to just categories and names has depleted our way of seeing the world. And I would like to help us to undeplete and become richer and richer in our beings and the way we interact with the world. So I decided, I was talking to Melissa and I was like, what should I share? Because it's like when you say, well, what do you do? It's like, well, I put shoes on. I cooked breakfast. You know, there's a world, but then when you go to, you know, want to tell somebody, what do I do? It's like, well, I did this and I did this and I did this and I did this, and it becomes, I did all of this. And I don't know how to say it in one word. So I decided to bring my nonprofit institute yearly report, which I do with pictures that I take to the board and say, this is what we did this year. And just throw it at you, just because it's my dance of this year. And I hope it helps you understand a little bit of what we do. This is my front yard with a pond and a coal frame and stuff. Okay. Last year we started with learning how to like not farm by tilling everything up. And I got a favorite tool recently called a flail mower. And I just love my flail mower. It just chops everything up into mulch, so I don't have to go till the weeds and stuff. So there's me out there with my new friend. And here's some of my helpers. We're trying to make some rows for the water to go down and plant these things that we've planted. There's the irrigation. I always love to make the rows crooked because I believe that water does not naturally grow straight. I don't know who even thought that water goes straight. Water does not like to go straight. Water likes to move. It dances to the landscape too. So I help it go through the landscape different. Every turn that it makes, it deposits wealth of all kinds. One of the things we also decided to do was build some spiral gardens. Somebody was saying, we need medicinal herbs. So I was like, yeah, let's make medicinal herb gardens. But you can't just like make a row of medicinal herbs. It's like you have to, medicine plants need a moment to go, what do you want? It wants to be in incredible energy. So it was like, oh, you need to journey to those plants. You need to walk in circles to those plants. You need to like feel them. So we decided, we'll do these amazing spiral gardens. Well, Leo and Felipe showed up and they said, we can do it. We'll do rock work. And they start chip, chip, chip. And I thought we were just going to haul some stones, you know, and make this like simple thing. They made this masterpiece of spiral gardens that I didn't want to say, no, stop, that's too much. It was a piece of artwork, and I realized the garden had to become a piece of artwork because art is medicine. And that's them, the spirals, and we're filling them with good dirt and mulch. So they're incredibly beautiful. That's them with their first planting last year. So medicines, and they're made so that you can walk. I wanted them to be a pathway, so you walk through them. Other garden spots. I love to, like, as I know happens here, I could just tell that you just kind of wander through and there's spots that just need a certain plant. And this spot is beautiful for sunny plants, and this part likes cooler plants. And you start to become very aware of place just by being there and working with the microclimates of that area and knowing what would like to be there and what doesn't. So the whole design dance that you're looking for is being aware of right place of things. And as you get to know a particular plant, you get to know its particular needs and the things that would help it to do the best. And so you help give that to that plant. So that's what we're constantly doing. It's just trying to find the right place for each of these pieces to our life here. These are some of the gardens. Some more garden areas. Using what we have, old troughs, old, rabbit cage. Everything has its next step. So we're going to keep thinking, using our imagination, our creative mind to figure out what we could do next. Sheet mulching the other day, we had fun. We had a bunch of cardboard and we went, let's go find a best spot for the cardboard, and ended up using an area that now feels really good. A couple years ago, the kids and I built an adobe greenhouse, and that was a real learning experience, just relearning, for them how to build with adobe and making something a little more permanent than I don't like those plastic hoop houses because of plastic, and wanted something that will last. I always think of things of what can I do so that it can be there and functional after I'm gone. Like I want it to be better because I put it in the right way to start with. I don't want it to be garbage after I'm gone. And I'm still learning how to use a greenhouse. I was a little bit hesitant because my people didn't have greenhouses, so it's a new concept for me. But as climate is getting very radical, I'm finding that the greenhouse is very useful in just helping get seedlings going, helping grow a banana tree. And everybody in the Pueblo wants to come look at the greenhouse, first of all, because they know adobe and they can relate to the adobe. They get excited, like they want to build an adobe greenhouse too, but they really get excited about seeing a banana tree. It's like the first Santa Clara Pueblo banana tree. Some of our harvest last year. These are both my granddaughters. Dry harvests, all kinds. And one of the things that I like to point out is that all the seeds I grow out are mostly seeds of my people, meaning the Pueblo people of the Southwest, crops hopefully closer to home as much as we can, because right place is those plants have evolved through many, many, many generations with the people, the place here, and they belong here, and they help us and we help them. It's mutual. Here's some of our process harvests. I was so excited to figure out how to make apricot leather. But I also have continued ancient cornbread process. I don't know if you've heard of peaky bread from Hopi. All the Pueblos made that kind of bread, but they called it different names. We call it bua. And for our bua, it's a big deal that we're making it still, because it had gotten lost from us completely in our village. And it's a very sacred and special bread. And about 12 years ago, me and another woman from the village, we learned how to make this bread, and we started to teach it to the other women in the village. And then we made a house to cook it in. And then we made another house to gather the women to grind the corn for the bua bread. And it's just like one domino effect of amazing cultural revitalization that happened just because somebody figured out how to bring this back. And now it's like a big deal. The people are coming to us, and the girls that have learned and said, we need this for this ceremony and this ceremony, and we can do it. We can bring it back. So some of the girls this year went to Seed Savers to learn about organization. My seed banks, I started 3 seed banks, and They're more like all the corn over here, all the beans over there, all the squash over there. They're in piles and in jars all over. And this one looks very neat and tidy. This is our newest seed bank, and the girls are starting to organize it. And it's so like pretty to me. Although when I get in there, I go, oh, look at this one. And then I put it back over there. And then it gets messy pretty fast. But again, I'm a big seed saver and try to get the crops of my ancestors preserved and continued into the future. Flowering tree animals, we deal with a lot of animals for mostly manure and eating leftovers and eggs. We love eggs, and they become our pets, our friends. And this year we had a lot of groups coming to Flowering Tree, one of our sites, our main sites. And so we were preparing for them coming to stay. The girls made an outdoor shower out of this old highway tube. They were figuring out foods and signs. The little one was, she got, I want to help, I want to help. And was like, go clean the bathroom. She got her gloves on and was just cleaning that toilet for a long time. But what I realized was that the amount of groups coming in was significantly different than any other year. And I don't know if it was the pandemic or that people are just ready to connect in a way they haven't in a long time or ever that I have seen. So one of the first groups that came last early spring was the Owingeta, which we, Flowering Tree was helped start years ago, where we gather in the Espanola Valley region and exchange seeds with the Pueblo people, the Spanish people, the Anglo people, just the people of the farmers of our valley. And the first time we gathered, it was the most amazing thing because we've stayed segregated a lot because of animosity, history, you know, just cultural differences. But it was the first gathering of these three communities, basically Anglo, Spanish, and Pueblos, that came together in a really harmonious way to share our farming knowledge with each other and our seeds. And the Hispanics brought their, I'm not going to say it right, the singers for their church, not mariachis, they're the penitentes that come and sing. And it's like, for us, it's like very different. But it was it's beautiful. And then, you know, the Pueblos, we came and danced, and, you know, everybody shared something from their culture. And it was incredible time. Another group that came was the Hopi Tz'Kama permaculture group. They came for a week and camped out in the yard and used the outside shower. They loved it. And it was just this amazing cultural exchange between two Pueblos. With them, we planted a whole fence line, dug it out and put in straw bales and mulch and different plants so that there'll be a wildlife corridor along with those fence lines. And man, they just worked so hard. And it was so much fun to be with a group of Pueblo people that were slightly different, but still had our, you know, values and stuff, and just sharing constantly. Here's the girls helping to make baskets to put some trees in so the gophers can't eat the roots before they get started. And we were playing with the solar cooker to make meals and stuff, and just having a good time together. It moves. I didn't know that. Look, we can see what I'm cooking. Cake. How hot it is. It gets pretty hot in there. It's an old solar cooker. We've made ones out of wheelbarrows. Like that. So part of the Hopi group, they worked so hard and so fast that we finished the project that was going to last for a week, 2 days early. And they said, well, how about we exchange something for each other? And they knew I work with clay a lot. And they says, will you teach us some pottery and we'll teach you weaving? So for the next 2 days, we all sat around each other and shared crafts that we have of our different tribes that we could learn from each other, and had a wonderful time sharing and singing songs and stuff. It was great. Another group we were working with was at IAIA, the Institute of American Indian Arts, with Melanie Kirby. We were set up 2 beehives at the site. One of them was up there in the rafters. They're putting bees up in the rafters. And another one was right here, which was an educational one, which you could open the door and look inside. This is the outside of this one, and I made it Southwest style. So the bees could go in there, but the kids can safely look inside the beehive. It's really fun. Tanafa design course, the native design course that gathers every year. I've been working with them for probably 15 years now. And they came and spent a day with us. And we could turn to the next one. We made fertilizer and did patterning understanding and just hung out. I mean, when you get a bunch of Indians together, you have a big party. You get food, you get laughter, you get songs, you get stories, you get cultural sharing like crazy. So it's just been wonderful. Indigenous Seed Keepers Network came and spent days with us, and that was probably the biggest group we've had there, and just sharing again what different native organizations are doing by way of seed saving. And for me, it was sort of stunning because I've been sort of in my own little world of working with my organization, but to hear of all these different native organizations doing similar things, coming together and sharing their stories and talking about where we go from here was just tremendous, tremendous. Breath in My Heart with Beata Sosi, she brought the Taos ladies that do herbal stuff down, and we harvested the amaranth and shared with them the medicinal stuff. They were herbalists, they're midwives and herbalists, so I was picking their brains like crazy because I have to plant my beautiful spiral gardens with medicine and I don't know enough. So I was like, tell me what this one does, tell me what this plant does. And it's fun. You get a bunch of these herbalists together and you just throw a seed in the middle of them and they go, well, I know that this is good for salves and stuff and this is good for your eyes and the other one will, and you just sit back and listen and it's just like this amazing flow of information and wealth of knowledge that comes out of them. So incredible group. Another group that came was the UNM Science and Archaeology Department. Because of my work with tribal foods and doing the pre-contact food diets for our health in the village, they were trying to find out if the foods of today that were our ancestral based, our ancestral foods, matched some of the DNA, the little genetics that they were finding in the archaeological ruin sites, and seeing how much of this was grown back then, how much we were eating back in the day, and that they then would also then share that knowledge with me, which I would very much want to know, like how much of this food were we eating back then, and how just sharing information. And it's like, cool, people that like this stuff too. And we also had a chef Andrew, and Novana Gallegos. I hadn't known them before this workshop, but they came and just like showed, corn nixtamalising, making corn into masa and making it a more edible thing, and also doing a bioreactor in our greenhouse. And I was like, what's a bioreactor? And it's like, oh, I'm learning all these things from just these people that are coming around and showing how you can speed up. This bioreactor is an intense composter, basically. Covera Coalition, the native agroforestry people, they heard about my house in the trees. And the agroforestry people were trying to do a film on promoting how you create a forest. And they realized I had created one in my yard. So they came to film my yard as a man-made forest. And that's pretty cool. And meanwhile, we decided we would do an erosion control workshop also. There's us out in Abiquiu area making these little washes, these erosion rock control areas. And then 2 hours after we did all of these, we did maybe 20 of these or more. 2 hours after, big storm came. And so we were all out there. We could watch how our rock work actually worked. And it was great. It was incredible. Another thing was, again, constantly, those were reaching out to other organizations and sharing with them and learning from them, but also always taking that knowledge and then trying to take what is useful for us and what works for us in our little community and get it back into the community. One of the things that I'm constantly trying to get back into Santa Clara Pueblo and the other pueblos in the area is eating our ancestral foods for our health and our well-being. And, there's different ways you do it, trying to, I made a cookbook, gave them a cookbook, do courses, give them a course, tell them in different ways, just share. And so one of the things we did was one of our members at Santa Clara is Ray Naranjo, who is a chef, and he's worked with the Pueblo Food Experience Foods. And so he decided to give the Pueblo itself cooking classes. So we've done a number of cooking classes based on what we call the Four Sisters, because we added amaranth to the Three Sisters, and added because amaranth was a very important plant for us, and help teach people how to cook with those ingredients again, and maybe new ideals, so that a bowl of beans isn't just a bowl of beans. There he is, showing us how to cook something. Another thing we do is pottery, and I like starting really basic with pottery with people. Do a river trip in September usually, and with an all women's writing group. So we used to get about 20 women going down the Colorado River for 5-6 days. And my part is to play with clay. So, they're writing in their journals and playing with the water and stuff, but I teach them how to find clay along the bank of the river, and we make tiny little things. And on the last day, we fire them in the fire pit, and they can take their little bead or whatever they made home. But it's a connection to place again, and empowerment too. It's amazing how often when you show people what you can make just with what's around you for your simple needs, empowers somebody. So much of our modern world takes away our power. It's like, can't fix your own car, you can't do this, you have to have a degree, you have to blah, 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 blah. Pretty soon you're just like, whatever, I can't do nothing. I have to pay someone to do it for me. But it's like, no, I want to take back our power, our dance of life, and say, if I need a bowl to eat out of, if I need something to carry water in, I can do that myself with what I have. If I just know how to find the sources, to find the clay, you can make it. You can fire it in fire. It'll hold water. It'll hold your Cheerios. It's wonderful. So, I love doing that with the outside world, but I also do a lot with the tribal people just because, even though we're still potters, a lot of us, there's not always families that will share the knowledge. So I'm always like, yeah, I'll show you how. So these two beautiful Taos women came saying their son was going into the kiva for the year and he needed dishes. They have to have handmade dishes to go in the kiva for that year. So they came and we made pots for her grandson and her son to go into the kiva for that year. So that was a nice, exchange. More pottery. It's like pottery. So not only do that for, just learning how to play with clay again, but to also have it available for the ceremonies in our village. A lot of our initiations and celebrations require a pot. And so it's good to know how to make a pot. So here's another one too is the girls. Porter was talking about, the question came up about women and men. And I was like, yes, the unseen role of women. Women do a lot in the village. We don't necessarily get highlighted. I do think that, not everything is what you see. It's what's inside. And even, with that question that came up about the men's role and women's role, we've placed a lot of value on what you see and what what's right there. But traditionally, what's inside that you don't necessarily see with your eyes can be incredibly important, and sometimes more important, that you have the right feeling within you, that you have the right intuition. Those are all things you can't see like that, but it's there. And that is the women's domain. And even we have our ceremonial houses, our kivas, the men run them. But we know as women that the kiva itself is symbolic of the female. She is the first womb. And the kiva is representative of going back into our mother, into our mother, our womb. And women don't need to, because they carry that womb with them all the time. And men need to go in the kiva because they don't carry the womb with them. So that's an incredible power that's not necessarily, you don't see it, but it's just known. You just know that. We all can go in the kiva. It's like this room. We would consider this room like a kiva. It's a holy space. It's a place where you come with prayer and respect. But in our kivas, there's usually the men that sort of manage it. Let's say that. Like it's a manager role or leadership looking role. Though everybody's welcome. But the men do a lot in there. The women are other places. But symbolically, that is a womb. It's the thing that holds us. The thing that holds us is the mother. So that's female. So we think of the world in terms of male, female that way. It's like, oh, is it female? oh, it does these attributes, so that's a female thing. It's not less, it's just that's a female attribute. Male attributes are different. They're more visible, they're more, action oriented. So that would be, and both are very, very needed, or if one is more than the other, the world goes off balance, and then things go not good. When they're in balance, then things will be good. So even with, like we have made a women's house, we have a women's house. And in the women's house, we always, when we're having whatever we're doing in there as women, we always have to go get the male energy. We can't just have female energy because that's lopsided. And it won't, it's like breathing in without breathing out. You have to do the whole thing. And if you don't have the male energy there to do that other part, then you'll pop from breathing in. You need to, it's reciprocal. So that's really important. So here's us women doing women things. The little girls are getting celebrated for their kuipa, which is coming of age. They started their period and they're going to be celebrated. Part of what they have to do is learn some women things. Some of that is making a basket, making pottery, doing different stuff like that. And here's our women's house. This was early on, this gathering here. But so these are kind of what it looks like in one of the gathering places for us, and all the women come. And these stones are grinding stones. Grinding stones are women. They are female. And so they belong to the women. Like there's some things that are men. And, it doesn't mean that they're genetically a male or female, but they have that energy. So they belong to that house or that house. Things like that. Another thing we do a lot is maintaining, caring for these places. Plastering. We do a lot of adobe plaster, and last year we plastered a lot of things. There's a compost toilet, there's the greenhouse, there's the bante or orno, there's a 150-year-old house we've been restoring. That's a bua house where we make the special bread, and only the women go in that house. That's a women's house. Another thing we got awarded a widow wizard, which I have not tried yet, but it's exciting. It's like this beautifully handcrafted seed cleaner thing because of all our seeds. And here we are cleaning seeds by hand, and we were laughing at ourselves because we actually grew some heirloom wheat, and we don't usually grow wheat, but we had some wheat, and wheat's a little bit hard to clean. And so we were stomping it and doing all of that, and then we realized we all had Birkenstocks. We took them off and we could grind them. So we were like this Birkenstock grinding machine. And then we got this, and we're like, too late. Anyway, that's us in our style of seed cleaning, and this is our new and improved. Anyway, you could see. Here's some of the interns doing different things: cleaning corn, putting dirt in, putting compost on, packaging seeds for seed exchanges, going through the compost pile. There's me outside one of the land properties, cooking beans in a pot we made from the land, with beans that we grew, in a place that those things evolved, and feels good. We did things with road repair and harvesting some of the dead wood that might be a fire hazard in land in Cuba. And we're always fundraising. Here's Brooklyn, my new favorite friend, because she knows how to do computer work. And I don't. So she is my favorite friend right now. She's going to look for funding for us. And one of the things we're looking for funding for is we're actually going to build up at the lake where we were doing erosion control. We have this big slab that we have not found the funding to do the walls yet, but we're going to eventually create a retreat. We've been calling it retreat center, and everyone's like, well, what is it? What is it really? But really it is a place of merging all of these aspects of our life together in a beautiful place that will help people center themselves so they remember who they are. Because to me, this whole process is a returning to who we are. That's my turkey. No.
Roxanne, I think this is just such a absolutely gorgeous example of the systems perspective that we actually teach again in our chaplaincy training. And also, there's a kind of notion of liners and lumpers. And so the liners are, it's not how you would ever make a furrow. Your furrows actually are, making it possible for the richness of the movement of water to create deposits and so on. But the question that was asked of your son, Porter, about the role of women. And, again, you exemplify this so powerfully of the experience of seeing the connections and making those connections visible, not just to women, but also to men, women, and also to us. And to realize that, so often we're operating from, in silos, and you're in a world of bridges. And it's just so powerful to see, a systems perspective naturally arising from the culture of our brothers and sisters, your culture, just up the road a little bit. And as we are on this land, it's something I just want to see, more firmly actualized. The relationship between, sky and earth with Alonso will bring to us, but also between earth and kitchen and seed and transmission and rematriation and all that you do. And I loved how at the beginning of your presentation, you just, the way your arms were sort of flying all over the place like Avalokiteshvara, of the 10,000 eyes and the 10,000 hands. And it just was like, a Tewa Avalokiteshvara, each hand filled with wisdom and also bringing worlds together. So I'm just so moved. Thank you, my dear sister.
Thank you, Thank you.
I know that there's a great upwelling of gratitude, and if we may, if you'll forgive us, Sangha, just to ask Melissa Nelson and Alonso if they would like to say something, the other presenters in the program, that would be beautiful. So if you want to come near, if you'd like to just offer. Alonso?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to listen from both you and your son. We think of you as our brothers and sisters from the north. And so for me, it's really a unique opportunity and one that I've been waiting for many, many years to hear, to see a glimpse into the life of our brothers and sisters, and to confirm that that we've been all along doing the same things as you. And so it's very satisfying and gratifying to know that that's alive and well. And so thank you very much.
Thank you, Alonso. Thank you.
Oh, Chimigwich, Roxanne, thank you so much. That was inspiring, and I just feel so moved and so aligned with your work, and you've been such a beacon of hope and resilience and inspiration to so many of us concerned with our foods, our health, decolonization, revitalization. And you have just demonstrated that so beautifully and with such joy. And I also reflected Roshi Joan on her dance at the beginning that blessed us all with this wonderful movement and flow of the patterns of nature. And you yourself are a pattern of nature in the best way as a beautiful matriarch, woman, goddess, artist. And thank you so much. And I look forward to more seed exchanges and coalescing and confluences with you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Me too. Thank you.
Roxanne, Kundawoha.
Mama.
Thank you so much for reminding us who we really are. And with that knowledge, how we can dance more joyously with this Mother Earth and then give it all away. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, she's got really warm hands.
I know you can all feel the intimacy in this room, and forgive us for taking all the opportunity to speak, but we, on behalf of everyone, we thank you. And you have given us so many gifts. The original Tewa blue corn of this valley, when Emily Baker, one of the first chaplains at Upaya Zen Center, innocently, with all of her intelligence, traveled to Española and received a gift of dark midnight blue Tewa corn from the old world and brought it back. And for 13 years, we've been growing it faithfully and with full love, and also tasting the truth of we say tasting the truth of the Buddha's teaching in every single bite. This morning, drinking atole, lifting the cup up and tasting the truth of the blood and continuity of this land and your work. We taste the truth, and we are dedicated to keeping this circle and communion very much alive. And now we're at such an extraordinary junction in the life of this community, because there's a new gathering place being created. It's nascent. It's still sleeping in the womb. We are not going over and disturbing this new building. They are not yet ready to be born, but they will be born, and it will be a beautiful event. One of the things that happened is the original garden of 13 years has changed now. There's a beautiful water storage. Let me just put it as decorously as I can. In other words, the water tank has been buried in the center of the old garden to hold water for the new. And every inch of fragrant, loved, and cultivated soil was carefully moved to a new garden, which we are going to plant tomorrow morning. When there's corn harvest happening in the Tewa world, corn celebration, we know that. And then you, in understanding that, gave us a gift of your corn, of a new corn that we've never seen before, which you have been breeding So I don't know. I hope that perhaps Noah can show this to the community to see this beautiful, beautiful corn. And Roxanne will say a word. This is the fruit of heart and mind together in the present moment. This extraordinary woman going to the canyon and the Havasupai people in the Grand Canyon, tasting and seeing their corn and knowing the pink corn of the Hopi world. It's her story to tell, and we really would love to hear how you did this breeding.
Okay.
Do you mind?
No, I don't
Good.
mind. Thank you. This is what I've been calling her is a sweet Hopi Supai corn, which I believe I'm the only one that has created this because it actually comes from the Havasupai nation down in the Grand Canyon. The people there grew out a corn that had a sunburst. And if you look at, pass this around, you can see each little kernel has a sunburst of like the morning sunrise on it, sunburst. So it's a supai, it's a Havasupai corn from there. The Hopis at one point went and got corn from the Havasupai and continued growing that out and added their name to it, the Hopi Supai. So they just added themselves onto it. And then of course I managed to get some of that Hopi seed, which is beautiful in itself, these beautiful soft kernel sunburst corn. And I started to grow it out. And through the years, I noticed that there were some wrinkly ones, which are the sweet corn. I started picking it out, and you grow those ones out and you grow them out and you grow them out and you grow them out. And eventually they settle in and they make a whole ear and become a whole new thing. And now it's a sweet Supai, Hopi Supai corn. I guess I should put flowering tree. Flowering tree, sweet.
Please do not worry
Supai,
about that
Hopi.
being put on it. It will be put on it.
Anyway, so I wanted to give some to Wendy here for Umpaya to grow out and keep her alive, because the more people keeping her alive in this area, the more chance it has to continue. And so the seed here has, the genetic code of the whole Southwest region in a storyline of tribal people passing it to tribal people and becoming what it is today. And so maybe we keep it alive and she will keep feeding us into the future. So.
This is worth standing up for. This is a huge moment. Roshi, isn't it amazing for us to receive this corn from you? You also gave us a tiny seed pot, which has been on Roshi's altar for 1 year. She's in love with it, but we're going to take it away from her tomorrow and bury that beautiful seed pot in the ground with some of this seed as a vow to you that we will, with care and attention and dignity and diligence, grow this seed and also get out of the way so that it can grow. No blue corn this year, just the pink Havasupai genetic creation that you've entrusted us with, and every seed will come back to you. Every seed will come back to you. That's our pledge, because not in this world, those with the most knowledge have the least access to land. Those with the most knowledge and information and heart have the least access to good land. We have good land here, and we will grow this corn with full heart and full dedication and return it to you where it belongs. Thank you. And now we'd like to give you a present or two.
So This is your corn.
Yes.
Is coming back.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, look at. That's beautiful.
And deep, deep woman of the earth, there are young students who can't help but put their hands down in the ground and bring up a handful of raw earth and make a pot. So a brave one, such a one, just celebrated his 28th birthday here. He's born in the year of the twins, and he has a twin sister. And together they've created a gift for you and want to give it to you this morning, this afternoon.
Oh, thank you.
Some dancing people.
You say a little
Sure. This is
Dancing people.
a pot that I made. The clay is from Abiquiu, and around the outside are some joyous people in community in a circle that my sister painted on the outside.
Happy birthday, Hannah. Yes, happy birthday. I got a present.
And it's great to on Mayumi's birthday to have this exchange is really good in the presence of green Tara and all beings. And then finally, from the garden to the garden, from a young gardener, only 8 generations in this world, in the Hispanic deep body of this world. And so here we have a gift coming to you from this garden by our gardener. Yeah.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's so beautiful.
So Ashira, do you want to help Roxanne see? Tell her what's here. I'll help you if you need it.
The corn from last year?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
The corn from last year as well?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yes, 2 years ago. This is a braid and also some loose corn.
Beautiful. Thank you. And it'll go home.
And then, it's good, just stay for a moment. And then a little, actually a powerful, multi-armed goddess from Santa Clara Pueblo told me that she wished she had some white amaranth seed to plant, and we did. So it is pink with the chaff, as you know,
yes.
but we were very careful to keep it separate. And of course, amaranth really doesn't behave. So there will be some black in the white, but so it is in the world. But this we've treasured and kept on one side of the garden, black amaranth, on the other white. And of course, there's always mixture,
yes.
but this is for you, the white amaranth that pops
Thank you.
continues to feed and grow from this garden to your garden with love and gratitude for everything you make possible. So,
Gosh. Gifts.
So we will take a breath
Put it down.
and also appreciate the gift of your teachings. These old seeds planted deep in our psyche, turning us toward love and appreciation for the old ways which shine through in this southwestern desert, high desert. And like the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, many hands and many eyes, serving so many in the world who are suffering. Your vision, but also your hands, what you have crafted as an artist, which actually you haven't seen what Roxanne does with one small part of her life as an extraordinary lover of clay. Sometimes pieces as tall as this ceiling, reflecting the power of women to actually bring forth life from this earth. So thank you, my wonderful sister.
Thank you. Thank you, Joan.
And we invite all of you. I wish you who are online could join us as well for this meal that is made from by our residents and our guests, and also of the diet of this place. So we will take a breath and move into the dining area. You will all a breath. And we will return at around 3:00 Mountain Time to first Melissa Nelson and then Alonso Mendez, Cree, and Mayan, again, bringing us back into the traditional ecological knowledges, the plural knowledges that are held by the peoples of Turtle Island. So, thank you to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Yeah, we have lunch.